Hi, everybody, and welcome. Today, I am going to talk about the experience of motherhood, and I'm going to talk about why, in this experience of motherhood, it's so important for us to take time for ourselves, to step out of the busyness and the rush and the overwhelm, to clear our minds and to connect with a more feminine energy that lives inside of us, which I am just going to call intuition or soul voice or inner wisdom. And there are really two ways of looking at it. The first way of looking at it is that very practical understanding of modern motherhood and using a pause or a sacred pause to really heal, what I believe has become a dysfunctional way of life and a dysfunctional way of role modeling what life is like to our little people. And so that really is about the day-to-day grind, the Monday to Friday, well, the Monday to Sunday 24/7 grind that is motherhood, and how we have fallen victim to some cultural brainwashing that tells us that in order to be a good woman, a good mother, a good partner, a good home manager, a good professional, we have to do more and we have to be more for the people around us. And this is really how we have been socialized within a patriarchal culture. And so the problem that this has, sort of the daily problem that it has, is that it leaves us tired, overwhelmed, distracted, frustrated, and disconnected from that soul voice or that intuition or that inner wisdom, because we are kind of constantly on the go. And when you're constantly on the go and your mind is constantly going from one to do on your list to another to do on your list, you really don't have time to reflect. And I'm just realizing here that you really don't have time to connect with yourself and hear the internal messages that are about, what is working for you and what isn't working for you. What is the zoom out big picture that gives you the insight and the wisdom around what you need to let go of and where perhaps your focus needs to go instead, right? So I am here to invite you to use ritual as a means of slowing down and pausing. And at a very basic level, the rituals that I've designed for you in the Sacred Pause experience are designed to help you simply relax and be present completely and totally in your body. So that's just the very, very basic what you're going to get out of this. You're going to get out of this guided rituals that are already made, already prepared, easily, should you need to adapt them, you can adapt and modify them to meet you where you're at. And the idea here is that you step into them, carve the time out for them, step into them, be in them, and have that time just for you to relax, to calm your parasympathetic nervous system, and to make use of the element, and I'll talk about this in a little bit more in a minute, to the element that the ritual is associated with. So for instance, with the sacred bathing ritual, the element is water, and water is associated with emotion and cleansing and flow and release, letting go. And so that ritual specifically gifts you with all that water can bring to you. So you step into a relaxing ritual where you come completely into your body and you're invited to release, you're invited to embrace the energy of flow and water, to cleanse and to identify the emotions that need releasing. So it's really juicy, super relaxing, but it's also very transformative because you step into the ritual as one woman, and then the alchemy of the ritual allows you to then step out as another woman. And so each of these is designed, yes, to relax, yes, to calm your parasympathetic nervous system, and even possibly, if you do them time and time again, to heal your parasympathetic nervous system, so that you are able to use these at a very basic level, just to chill out and honor yourself and give yourself the me time that you need. Now, if you take it or choose to take it to a different level or perceive of it in a different way, then there's a whole other potential here. And that is when you sort of step into yourself and your body and the quiet, and you allow the magic of whatever element the ritual works with to take its course in the experience that is the ritual, then you are invited to really embrace that alchemy and to transform. And so, like I said, with the bathing ritual, you walk in or you step into the bathing ritual, perhaps with clarity around, or perhaps the clarity doesn't even exist, but you walk in as one woman, and then during the ritual, you identify, what it is you need releasing, what needs cleansing, what needs letting go, in the most self-loving, pleasurable way. And then you step out as the woman who has cleansed, herself of whatever it is you identified during the ritual that needed cleansing. So they're very powerful in that way. Another really powerful ritual is the dance ritual, the fire dance ritual, which is the second ritual. And again, you walk into which is essentially this solo dance party, one woman, and then you feel the heat and the flame and the fire and the passion of the dance, through which you celebrate, everything that there is to celebrate, that you choose to celebrate. And then you also identify all those kind of thought patterns or bad habits, the limiting beliefs, the stuff that isn't serving you. You get clear on what that is, and through your dance, you let it go. You burn it away through your movement. So it's really a very, very, very embodied practice. All of them invite embodiment, and it's all of them are also very potentially transformative. But here's the secret behind it all. Here's my secret mission behind it all. My secret mission is that in practicing your sacred pause, you are inviting your more feminine energy into your world. So let's talk a little bit about feminine and masculine briefly. What is this mystery that is feminine energy? You've heard people talk about it. You perhaps have Googled it. Everybody and their dog is talking about the feminine, divine feminine rising and all that. So what is this? So it's unfamiliar to us because it hasn't been celebrated. And in fact, the opposite is true in the patriarchal culture that values masculine, and I'll talk about that, energies. It has actually been, feminine energies have actually been suppressed and looked down upon, frowned upon. And for this reason, we live in a way, and we replicate patterns that support an imbalance in our world, so that there's actually more masculine energies and values that we have internalized and that we live and that we practice and that we celebrate unconsciously, versus feminine ones. So so let me just explain to you what some of those might be. So doing, achieving, being goal-oriented, being rational, structured, having data. Hi, love. Being linear, being logical, focused, clear, willful. All of these things are beautiful, beautiful masculine qualities. Or I say masculine and feminine just because those are the Jungian terms, but we can also use the terms yin and yang. So the yang energies, all of those energies are highly celebrated in our culture. And we define our self-worth according to how aligned we are with many of these qualities and many of these energies. And that is fine. The challenge is that now within the culture, it's kind of gone so much to that end that we've forgotten the value of the feminine qualities and how actually, in order for us to live healthy, fulfilling lives that honor the, even Earth's ancient wisdom, which does balance this yin and this yang, this feminine and this masculine. In order for us to, balance that out, we need to bring them both together so that they complement one another. And that is what the sacred pause does, because for the most part, we are, in doing mode, constantly like getting stuff done, constantly trying to learn more, be more, do more, being rational and focused and goal oriented. This is what we're sort of going for. This is what we celebrate. This is what we are. This is also what we're rewarded for in our culture. And so when we invite the feminine in, it complements that. And so the feminine or the yin would be energies that are more about being and about listening and about tuning in and about intuition and about hearing your soul and about nurturing and about cyclical growth versus linear growth and about your being heart-led. And, there's kind of more of this energy of flow. You can really sort of sense the difference if you just close your eyes and listen to the words that I say, like flow, dynamism, being, intuition, soul, cyclical, nurturing, like all of these words, they land inside of us in a different way. And so when I introduce the Sacred Pause experience into the world, it's my intention to invite more of this yin or more of this feminine energy into your world. What's happened in our world and is that things have swung so far towards the kind of yang masculine energies that I would argue, and particularly, the leadership speaks to this. We've gone into toxic masculinity or toxic capitalism. And some symptoms of that would be, this idea that we are competitive, we have to do things on our own, we can't ask for help, we can't allow our emotions to flow. We have become sort of dominant and colonizing in our relationships with other people and in our relationships with nature. So this is like kind of the extreme and the toxification of the masculine. And so when we bring the feminine in, then we kind of gently are healing ourselves from that. And so what I am really excited to do with the Sacred Pause is teach you through practice, through ritual, to experience more of the feminine in your life. And when you do that, you're going to hear, you're going to connect with your body, your intuition. And my experience was also a deeper connection with the natural world around me. So the elements, the elements of air, fire, water, and earth, but also there was something about just feeling a bigger part of nature, feeling like I am part of something bigger. So that's kind of like, when I started this video just now, I was thinking what I want to do is I want to talk about like the day-to-day grind that mothers experience and how that just gets in the way of them being able to feel pleasure and feel relaxed and be content, and at that very, very basic level, to role model sort of a relaxed and conscious life where one is present, where one is mindful, where one is connected with themselves, where one is living in alignment with their values, where they are, able to respond calmly, consciously, confidently to the people that they love. So that's like the day-to-day grind. But when we take it a little bit deeper, then you realize that when you slow down and honor that sacred pause in your life, when you're doing that, and you're actually bringing more of the feminine in, and when you're doing that, you're actually doing something quite revolutionary, because you're allowing yourself to slow down, and you're allowing yourself to pause, and you're allowing yourself to connect to your emotional flow or your energetic, state of being. You're allowing yourself to hear your soul and to hear your intuition. And sure, maybe a lot of us don't do it because it feels scary. Like, what's going to come up? A lot of shit came up for me when I did my very first sacred pause. Around, things that weren't working in the family, things that weren't working in my romantic relationship, things that weren't working in my work life with my business. I mean, I actually ended up shutting my business down. So it can feel scary, and everything that I do is about baby steps, but it's also something that I'm sort of launching to the world, because I think we're at a stage where we're ready. We are ready to make these big revolutionary changes, because we know and we have seen that it's what the world needs. It's what our families need. Our family needs to see us taking time for ourselves. Our family needs to see us hearing our intuition and honoring our intuition. Our family needs to see us, able to hear our soul and honor our soul's calling. And I also believe, as an environmentalist, that our families need to see us connected to the elements and to the earth. And when we feel connected to the elements and to the earth, then everything changes. Everything changes, because we realize that the way we treat ourselves, the way we treat our loved ones, and the way we treat our earth is really all the same thing, because we are all so interconnected, and we're all just this one entity of life that is complex and complicated and elegant and sophisticated, and that requires balance. And so my secret intention is to start this balance of the planet from the inside out, and with mothers who need the healing, who need the rest, who need the relaxation. So I know this video has been a little bit all over the place today, and I do want to say that I'm going to have a more structured video tomorrow or the next day, where I'm going to go through each of the rituals one by one and explain their juicy details and how they can help you. And I'm also going to talk about how, after you complete the 4 rituals that are part of the Sacred Pause experience, you're invited to join me live for a full moon circle, where I teach you how to use those in alignment with nature's cycles. Right? So nature has the 4 cycles of, for simplicity's purposes, we'll just call them the spring cycle of birth and of planting seeds and of initiation and of intention setting. And then the summer cycle, which is all about visibility and production and blossoming and blooming. And then the fall or the autumn cycle, which is all about release and letting go, sort of ticking the boxes, and sort of that energy of just closing things off, but preparing, for a longer rest, which is the winter. And the fourth of the 4 phases, which is all about just simply being and resting, hibernating, going inwards, taking things in. And so each of these, rituals is associated with one of those 4 cycles. And I'm going to teach you, after you've practiced them all at least once in my live full moon circle, to use those in alignment with one of those 4. And the beautiful thing about those 4 phases, and the beautiful thing about these 4 rituals, is that you can choose to use them depending on what you need at what time. So you can follow the moon's 4 cycles, or you can follow the seasons, or you can follow your feminine cycle as well. So you can really plant those rituals strategically depending on what you need. The idea here is that it's not about doing more and being more for everybody. The idea here is that it's actually about stepping inward and slowing down and hearing this inner wisdom that lives inside of you. We've become a society where we simply go, go, go all the time, do all the time, so much so that we're scared to slow down. We're scared to slow down and stop because what if we slow down and stop and then we never get back up again, right? Or what if we slow down and stop and we hear things that make us uncomfortable or truths that we've been avoiding for a really long time? Or an invitation to do something that feels really scary. This can happen. I mean, it happened to me. And what if you don't do that, right? What if you don't slow down? What if you don't hear your soul? What if you don't stop to rest and heal your parasympathetic nervous system? What if you just keep on going? Keep on going. That it's really important for you to think about, what if I don't do this? What if I don't find a way to slow down and pause? What is it going to mean for me? How am I role modeling things for my children? Who am I presenting myself as? How much of my life right now is about the woman that I was born to be, and how much of this is about the woman that the patriarchal culture has sort of told me I should be. So this sacred pause, while at a very basic level, is an invitation for some beautiful regenerative me time. It's also at another level an invitation for you to get to know in the most pleasurable, beautiful, calming way, for you to get to know yourself and for you to start digging a little bit deeper. Or maybe that's not the right metaphor. It's more like for you to start opening up space so that you can hear what your soul voice has to tell you about who you are and about what you need and about your dreams, and what needs healing in your world. So, and my hope is sort of, as women start to learn more about the sacred pause and it starts to reach more households, that we create a community of mothers who feel more rested, who feel more at ease, who feel more spaciousness, who feel more balance. And in so doing, collectively, we begin to change the culture so that it is, in fact, more balanced. What's happened to me is that I now hear my intuition speak to me loud and clear. And I have the energy and the focus and high levels of productivity. I'm just going to speak to that in a second. That allows me to do what I need to do to honor my intuitive guidance in a short amount of time. So it has this really beautiful knock-on effect, that, you slow down and you're worried that maybe you're never going to start up again. But the opposite is true. You slow down, you hear the guidance, and then you know exactly what needs doing. And and you can do it in less time because you're so focused and it's so clear and there isn't any self-doubt or procrastination around it, right? So the productivity thing that I wanted to say was that sometimes we think that resting or stopping or pausing is just a waste of time and it's going to actually threaten our productivity. But the opposite is actually true. Or in my experience and in the experience of many of the women that I've worked with, the opposite is actually true because, well, think about the metaphor, the darker the shadow, the lighter the light, right? the better the sleep at night, the more awake you are during the day. When you start to honor the sacred pause in your life and give yourself time to simply be and to relax and to go inward. And, some people say, well, meditation isn't my thing. This isn't meditation. This is a guided series of actions that you do mindfully and consciously that will take you into your body, but it is not conventional meditation. It's a wonderful way for people who sort of have this funny relationship with meditation and feel uncomfortable with it to actually get the benefits of a meditation practice. So that's also a really beautiful thing. But like what I was saying about the productivity piece is that when you actually do slow down and you actually do less, then the clarity, the focus, the energy levels, the confidence, it all results in the most beautiful recalibration, I'm going to say, of your world, and a really boosted productivity levels. It truly is amazing. So that's all I have today. If you are interested in learning more about this 4-ritual bundle, you can go to alexandrahughes.com/sacred pause experience. I'm going to put the link in the comments or in the description to this video. And if you have any questions, I am here. I'm so excited about this experience because I know that it can change lives, and I know that collectively it can change our culture. So please have a look. If you're a mom, this is especially for moms who have sort of busy and rushed lives and who feel torn between, I want to be there and present for my family, for my kids. I want to be that role model, and I want to change the world. And it might be that you're already doing work to change the world in your paid job or in the business, through the business that you own. It might be that you want to change the world in a way that you haven't quite defined yet, that you're not so clear on your life mission or your life purpose. On the website, I have a section that says, who is this for? What kind of mom is this for? So I want you to go to the website if you're not sure if it's for you, and to look there. But I just want to say this, is that if you are a mom, you're inherently a cultural change maker. You have in your hands the capacity to role model the change you want to see in the world to your little people and to other family members. And so by virtue of that, you are also a leader. And you can choose to extend that power and leadership into other realms, into your community, into your workplace. But before you do any of that, you need to ground yourself, you need to center yourself, you need to connect with yourself, and you need to embrace not only the doing side of you and who you are, but the being side of you and who you are. So whether it's because you want more me time and you need to chillax and you want to relax, or because you've heard your intuition and you want to hear a little bit more about what she has to say, you want to build up that intuitive muscle, and you want to really kind of hear your soul's voice and what those messages are, or because you want to bring in that feminine energy and find more balance between the doing and the being, and you want to do that because you know it's revolutionary and you need desperately for your children to see that so that they have that too. They have that role modeling, and you're a real activist, and that you see this as a means of changing cultures, then it's for you too. So have a look, alexandrahughes.com/sacred pause experience. You can let me know what you think in the comments below this video. And I'm here if you have any questions. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye.